Yep,
Not sure if they're still doing that though, John. It's been a bit of time since we casted Boom Esports, just about a month now.
yep. It doesn't look like it. Just quickly scanning through the previous series, and yeah, it doesn't look like they've been able to do that. Now, they could still fall back to it, though. I think that's still pretty potent for them. Maybe even the Medusa, although that one was also tapering off since the last time we saw them, so a bit iffy on getting that draft around. Still, gonna be banning out the Night Stalker and 496 in a shakeup, going for the Spectre on their end. So, Drew Spectre sliding through here. We've seen some Spectre coming out. You mentioned the Blade Mail build being nice. The timings are still pretty strange, considering that Spectre is something that wants to stall. So 496 do have good space making heroes with Void Spirit Tiny. They need to ensure that the Spectre gets a good time, gets the farm up, and really starts to build into more than just Blade Mail Manta. It kind of falls flat with just those two items.
That does. And there's your Necrophos being picked up immediately by Boom, so direct counter towards the Spectre, already up and online here for Boom Esports. Of course, the Necrophos hasn't been exactly popular, even with all these Spectre picks that I've been seeing as of late. I think I've only seen it once or twice being picked up to counter out the Spectre. So, don't know what to expect here. I don't know if this hero is really in a good place right now in the current meta, this Necrophos. Does feel a little bit volatile, if I'm honest, John.
Yeah, it's a back and forth kind of hero. It can really get punished fast. I think when you pick Necrophos into Tiny Void Spirit, it can be tricky. There's a lot of magic damage here already for 496 to eat through the Ghost Shroud. They even bring out the Bat Rider here as well, so they've got good lasso opportunities coming in. And boom, because they went with Moran and Nyx opening, no natural purges here. No room for revenge for the swap. No real room for an Abaddon, no room for the LC unless they do something funky with how they lane the Necrophos. But this is such a strong Bat Rider pick for 496, and boom. I mean, they kind of tunnel visioned into the Necrophos Spectre counter, but now they've got to make it work. They've got to consider what the Bat Rider will do to it, consider what the magic damage is like here for 496, and kind of try to play against it. Now, they're going to have to really compensate for the weaknesses of that Necrophos here.
At least you have the Nyx Assassin, right? Like, the Nyx into the Bat Rider. You have the Spy Carapace. You stun up the Bat Rider quite easily, but I do agree the Necrophos is not going to enjoy that matchup at all. Boom. Their fourth pickup now. I'm sure they've been in this situation before. They'll go for the AM pickup. That's not really something I've seen too much up against the Spectre picks, I've got to be honest, John, but it is upon us, and I suppose one way of dealing with the Spectre is just ignoring the Spectre.
Definitely, and the AM here should have a good time. Like, it's not like a life stealer or a drug where you can just kind of spin or rage to ignore the magic damage Void Spirit and Tiny and even the Bat Rider will bring. But AM has Counterspell, AM has great natural magic immunity, and I think it should be a pretty decent time once you get the levels up for the AM to survive. Now, early on, still going to be susceptible to that burst. Void Spirit at 6, Tiny at 5 are pretty scary for that AM. So you've got to watch your spacing here for your boom. Beyond that, once you get to level 10 on the AM, going towards 15, should be hammered in to have a good time. And it's the late game matchup you mentioned, right? Spectre versus AM. It should be better for the Spectre on paper, but it really depends on how the AM decides to play. And we're going to have to see how they tie up the drafts here for Boom. Looking for mid here for them. And 496, probably looking for a support, if not something funky with one of these heroes. Maybe Bat Rider support comes out and they kind of pocket your off lane or mid pickup here for 496. Again, they've got this flexibility going since they've kind of shaken up their lineup with these substitutes.
Well, final pickup now, John. Boom Esports. They are... I'd say they're looking for a Makoto hero here. It could also be FBZ. Just depends on where they want to run the Necrophos. If we wanted to see something like the FBZ Doom, it is available. We know the man loves playing the hero and obviously does perform very well on that hero as well. That's assuming, of course, he's not going to take the Necrophos.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Just either way, it's just open for him.
Radiant's turn to pick. Ember
Okay.
Spirit.
So it should be an offlane Necrophos, then mid-Ember for Makoto.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty interesting draft here from Boom Esports. Very different to what we're used to seeing from them.
Definitely. I think the mid matchup of Ember versus Void Spirit, though, is a pretty good place for them to shine. Mikado's got a mechanical lane to play. Oh my god.
Will enforce your will upon
I mean, it's just, I can't. Not tonight. I mean, you know, it's... Alright, I guess we'll play... we'll have a Techies game. Why not?
Bombi Techies. We saw them pull this off last time, 496. They've got the tiny with a toss. You hit the talent spikes if it goes way late, right? You hit those spikes and you can toss back to the mines. You can lasso into the mines. In fact, that's the combo 496 went for, wasn't it? Lasso into mines last time.
Something like that, John.
It's in here, Mike. It's in. Bombi gets to pick it up, and Boom Esports staring at this draft, probably wondering why they're still playing this game.
I'm wondering why I'm still casting today, John. It's
Oh, boy.
Techies. What a day as well. Oh, I'm so sleepy already, John. I mean, it's been such a long time since I slept, and now there's a Techies in the game in our final series. Whatever. We'll just enjoy
Still
it.
game one, too, Mike. It's game
Yeah,
one as well.
I mean, who knows? Game 2 might have Techies as well. Why the hell not?
Oh, yeah. Yep, exactly it. That's what I'm looking for, Mike. 2 Techies games back to back. Now, the funny thing is 496 with the Techies actually does play a bit faster, right? Like,
He
they
does.
also had a Spectre last time. They just kind of be aggressive with the haunts, and I'm looking to see if Drew changes that equation. Because again, you're swapping out not HLT, but you're swapping out red here, and you already have Jokam sitting in to replace a player. So that might change the way 496 executes with Bombi. Boom Esports as well. Again, you mentioned it, but this is not a very Boom Esports kind of draft. We'll see how they shake it up with that early pick on Nyx and see how much they can really get Bombi. Just laying it in. Yep. Gotcha.
Prepare yourself.
Oh, let's see what Bobby can get done. I mean, last time we saw him in the Techies, it was, was quite a bit of fun. Obviously very hard to keep up with, the kills because people just die to mines everywhere. Gets a bit gets a bit frustrating, John, I'm not going to lie, keeping up with the Techies when you're trying to cast and observe at the same time.
Yep. It's nature of Techies, though. Always going to be T-Tours around because of just how it is. You gotta love how Bombi started here, Mike. You see this item build? Revolutionary. No talisman, no regen, no nothing. Just wants to die with the blast off, of course. So you don't need regen if you just die,
True. Very, very true.
Oh, but you've got this insane back and forth, Mike. If Kezcute at some point, just gets Spike Carapace and then gets caught by the blast off, so he just reflects the damage. Which will it count for? Is it a kill for Bombi as a deny, or is it a kill for the Nyx? I actually don't know how that interaction would work.
Neither do I, John, and I really don't want to find out, I'll be honest. I really couldn't care less which one gets the kill. It's just, screw Techies. This hero, I don't even know why this hero is allowed in captain's mode, if I'm honest with you, John. Just get rid of it. Nobody would care.
Slacks would care.
Yeah,
care.
but,
He did a shoey,
He did. That is true, John. He is honorary Australian. Gotta give him that.
Oh.
See what they can get done. He's camping top lane right now on the tree line. He's obviously going to go for the blast off play to start things off. FBZ is going to be the unfortunate victim, it looks like. You'll see if FBZ does have a bit of game sense here to know that this might happen. I'm sure he does, and yeah, he's aware. He's going to wait. He'll be patient.
Oh man, I love it. Just really falling all the way back, ensuring that time's wasted here. So off lane, no, not off lane, but technically safe lane. Necrophos taking that role, and Bombi is forced to TP out. Up against that BB on that Void Spirit. Should be a fairly decent lane for that BB. He's playing at a range advantage, but FBZ can also kind of sustain himself, that BB is going to have to make good use of the Resonant Pulse to zone out the Necropose, and FBZ should have a easy time as long as he regens right.
I think the lane we're going to have to be watching, John, is the bot lane. Tri-lane versus tri-lane situation down at this bot lane. Bombi already at a very, very low HP. We'll, of course, look for the suicide with the blast off very soon, I'm sure.
Oh, man. Before anything crazy happens, I want to point out, Mike, mid-AM for Dreamo Cell. My cousin, the last time this happened, you know, if we were talking about my cousin, and he must be very happy to see this in a pro game.
Yeah, but isn't this the same cousin that actually bought Blink on AM?
Yep. Blink and shotgun.
I'll tell you what, John, you never know. Dreamer Soul, he may have heard you last time, and he might have decided that might be a good idea.
No, God, no. Please, Dream Assault, don't. I'm gonna get scolded by Clairvoyance for giving you ideas. Don't do it. He's gonna scold us on Twitter, Mike. This is
surprisingly, Bombi hasn't used Blast Off yet. I mean, it's in all fairness, the lane he's in, like he's with a Spectre. It's not like you're really going to be able to find an opportunity because you're kind of relying on working with JoeCam to be able to get some Blast Off kills going for yourself. Maybe now, JoeCam, it doesn't have toss. Went for the level 1 Avalanche.
Yep.
Just continue trading harass.
Patience, patience. You know, they're keeping the tri-lane tied in. This overall is probably hurting Mikoto more than you'd want it to, right? Like, the Ember wants that EXP buildup. He is sharing his EXP gain with these supports. Boom as well. They're offset on the Nyx Mirana. These heroes want to reach level 6 and level 5 at pretty good points. So this tri-lane is actually working to 496's favor in the sense that the timings for Boom are just going to be offset because of this kind of weird start.
There's a stun out. Nice impale into the arrow, and they just get rid of him. Bombi just kind of explodes there. Ironically enough, not really blasting off though.
No.
Boom Esports get the first blood for themselves, John. Great start.
Yep. That's what you want to see. And Bombi, I have to say I'm disappointed in this, Mike. We noticed a while ago he had no regen. Now he comes in, he's got 2 salves. So he's being responsible now. Which means probably looking to sustain the lane. Boom already happy with first blood. Again, they're sacrificing their EXP gain, but they're ensuring Bombi doesn't have the early acceleration he wants to go.
Well, they missed the blast off, John. It did not connect onto Hyde. And Bombi, he just TP'd back in. So he's going to be making the walk of shame back. Meanwhile, Hyde may possibly go down to JoeCam. You'll have a toss back up in a second, and it does have the mango for it, so it does commit, does get the kill. But in terms of this Bombi techies, he's going to walk his way back to wherever he's going, and it looks like he's given up on that bot lane. He's going to go up towards the top lane instead. And I was going to point out the fact that techies kind of needs XP to do anything. Meanwhile, top lane FBZ does end up eventually going down to Hung. There was also a rotation out from that BB on the Void Spirit.
Yeah, it's a good kickoff to get. Just managing to get that rolling for Hung. Now, the techies, as you mentioned, gonna need EXP. There's just not really a lane for them to play, and Boom again finding kill bot.
Just getting the tiny. Looks like there really wasn't much to it. They just ended up chasing him down. Hyde probably landing an arrow and getting the job done. Fairly even start between these two teams. I'd say the bot tri-lane is definitely working out a hell of a lot better for Boom though, thus far. Just doesn't seem like the side of 496 have been able to get much out of this bottom lane. Suppose you're still okay if the Spectre's farming, but you know, then again, it's not going to be good news if Boom Esports are farming just as well. Bot lane, Blast Off actually cancelled off thanks to the impale of Kescue. Now that's something I didn't know could happen.
Yeah.
So you can cancel it mid-air.
Yep, apparently you can. A bit of a shame for Bombi. That's a pretty long cooldown to have to sit through. And, you know, right now, Boom, 1k leads, less than 1k lead on their side as they're trying to scuffle over these power runes. Already have that BB position though, and not lucky, but Jokam actually snags it anyway.
He does. Gets a courier from Hyde. Arrow is not going to land Jokam. Trying to bait the Mirana to go onto that high ground, but she does not go there.
Oh, top lane.
And you end up getting hung. He tried to... Bombi does get Hyde down at the bot lane as well. Gets the blast off and this time does land it. So there you go.
Yeah.
Kills happening all across the map. Haven't really seen too many mines being placed yet by Bombi. He's been quite quiet in that department. Just opting to blast off whenever he wants.
Yeah,
But,
I think that's the tendency we see from techies, right? They just focus on finding lane bullying first. The mines come after. I think Bombi's going to want to wait a little bit more. They have managed to give Drew a ton of space. 2-5 last hits. But in saying that, you look at Dreamwhistle mid, he's been left alone. 44 last hits in the lane. They do rotate in though.
Jokam, that BB, they all jump in and they do actually get the kill. So while he was free farming completely, it's a nice pick up there for Jokam on the Tiny. Make his way back to the fountain, it seems. It's still just such an even game, 4-4, less than 1k net worth lead for Boom Esports, nothing to write home about. Everyone just pretty satisfied with farming at the moment.
Yeah, it's a slower draft, right? Like you've got these pause ones from both sides that just want to build up. You've got the techies in 496, which is self-explanatory. Boom is the one that can play a bit faster. Mikado does have level 6 up, but again, they're just kind of taking their time as best as possible. I think the biggest thing to watch out for is the stacks that can come in and have efficiency here, although Keski just breaking up. Yeah. 5 characters though, so it's too nice to break that off. And yeah, 4-4, less than 1k. What I am curious about is the plan with Drew, right? So he's got Haunt. He is rushing the Blade Mail once more. Are we going to focus on using early Haunts? Haven't seen that emphasized from a lot of Spectres yet.
They seem to just want to farm with that Blade Mail. The fact that it works on ancient camps is kind of ridiculous. So they tend to just farm until they get they can see a free kill and just haunt in and take a free kill for themselves. That's just generally how Spectre works right now. Bot lane, that BB gonna TP his way down. Kodo is in his sights. They need to land the blast off to get the silence to really kill him off here. They do land it. With that BB will now reveal himself and they do end up killing off Makoto. However, up at the top lane, Jokam is also going to get caught out here. Reaper Sight is there from FBZ. And, he shows himself. Let's pop the Firefly, but is not really going to be able to get too much out of it.
It's back and forth again, just trading these kills from both sides. A bit better for 496 because they found the Ember. I think they're just going to be happy to put Makato down. Been slow going for our Ember Spirit, still level 6. Compare that to the progress. Unk's got level 9 on the Bat Rider, and of course that BB's also 8 on the Void Spirit. So not been an easy ramp up for Boom, and at least getting Mikado started. Even the supports have again slowed down because of that tri-lane. Gonna have to look for that space elsewhere as they're starting to change up the lanes, right? This is the time where Dreamwhistle starts focusing on the jungle, and they do make movements.
Well, they go into that mid lane, trying to go after that BB, but it's a bit too tanky with that Resonant Pulse Shield. Just going to be able to get himself out of there. Like Bombi's gotten started on just farming the neutral camps while he can. Very, very important for these techies to get those levels and goals up. You do just tend to want to get the Ags ASAP on techies. It's kind of ridiculous how fast techies can farm the jungle as well. It's kind of stupid how fast he can farm it.
Yeah, it's just the power of war crimes, Mike.
Yeah.
Very strong, those war crimes. This is why they're banned. But, you know, it slides through every now and again, unsanctioned, and Bombi is having the time of his life, just having a free run. Still, you've got level 6 now in Kezcute, so he can start to scout out and does break off this roam from 496. Again, slower pace from both sides because of the nature of these drafts. You are seeing Dream assault pull slightly head over mid.
Nice blast off as well, though, into the horn. And that BB even jumping in, but Makoto is going to be able to get himself out. Jocam with the avalanche toss, but FBZ looking to turn it back around with the Reaper side. He will commit onto the Tiny, get rid of him out of this team fight. Meanwhile, Drew, arrow connecting. He's been stunned up and he will go down. A great team fight out from Boom Esports. They do take a 2k net worth lead and looks like they'll pressure that mid-tier 1 tower a bit.
And they only sacrificed their Nyx, but he got his job off. You know, he fight Carapace, he stood there, got the stuns off. Boom, gonna be very happy with that. And that's one thing the AM does a bit better, and you can see the commitment to prevent that mid-tier 1 push. All the TPs immediately canceled as well when they saw that FBZ was safe. But Boom are just playing super strong. They understand how far they can push this AM, and they know that the Spectre is not really set up. Even with this Blade Mail, Drew is still very vulnerable.
He is. What kind of build Makoto's going for here on this Ember Spirit? He hasn't queued anything up. He's just holding on to about 1.5k. What do you want these days in an Ember?
And we've seen physical Embers go for Desolator rushes. We also see the Ewelts occasionally come in, but the Ags is almost always going to come out as second item in both cases. Still, look down bot. They kind of went in, but it's an AM. You're not going to catch him out that easy.
Unless they get the blast off, and they do. With that huge silence duration, they will be able to kill him, and I never understood why the silence was that long. How?
Right?
It's 7 seconds at max level. It's a bit too long, I think.
It's pretty ridiculous considering. I mean, how is it? It's a 400, 500, 600 damage nuke with silence, mind you. No one else has it. No one, but Techies does. It's fine, and he can still self-deny, Mike. I can't do that in my Pudge anywhere, but Techies is fine. You know? Always gonna be pissed off about that.
The world isn't right, John. Things just ain't right these days, I'll tell you.
Sad times, Mike. Still, it's sadder for Boom because they have to play against this. So, they're still finding the pacing, though. Look at Dream Assault, just about 1,000 gold off from his Battle Fury. So it's not the fastest Battle Fury, but he has been active, and they catch one.
Radiant should look to their middle tower.
Haste up on Kezcute. He'll go for a bit of a run around the park, see what he can find. Yeah, it's a classic mistake. FBZ finding himself in the middle of the minefield, and let's get taken out. Arrow gonna fly in. Looks like they have caught out the Batrider, and Hung should die here, but he will just pop the drums and make a run for it. But Makoto does manage to kill him off. And Jocam will continue the chase onto Kezcute, but he may end up paying for it as they... No, never mind, he won't. Bombi does come in with the mine, kills him off, and now that BB gonna go after the Ember Spirit. Looks like Makoto is gonna turn back around with a triple kill on the Ember, but here comes Drew. He should have enough to finish off the Ember Spirit, especially considering Makoto does not have mana. They will. Ultimately, I believe that did favor 496. And yeah, it definitely favored 496.
It's a 4 for 3. They've got to remember here, Boom, that they're playing against Techies. I think that's always got to be on your mind. This is not a standard Dota game. You already said it when FBZ got taken out, but hey, a bit more caution is advised here for the side of Boom. As look down bot, they were clumping up for a push, but the defense is coming in.
Hung is looking for a lasso. There is your silence coming out once again with the flame break. Hung unable to reach for the lasso, but now Kescute. He ran in for a spike carapace, but he's going to get punished for it. Still Makoto. Going to come in now, cleans up one and a second. That's rotations out from our Ember. Hung, he'll be able to TP out of the tree line. Dreamer Soul, he wasn't able to get in range for a Mana Void. You know what the most broken part about this Techies hero is, John?
Yeah, Mike.
The fact that the mines are literally free wards. Like, they give you a sound cue when someone's nearby. How is that balanced? Like, each side gets 4 wards every, what is it, 5-10 minutes, and then Techies just gets like 15 mines across the map that give him a sound cue whenever anyone's nearby.
Yep. Yep.
Doesn't seem very fair, John.
It isn't. That's why mines are illegal, Mike. You know, it's not supposed to be here, but I know, Mike. I'm just staring at Bombi and wondering how could you live with yourself. Look at his gear up. Look at this. The Boom is just so scared to go up that ramp, so scared to go into the jungle. The mid-tier 1 is just safe by psychological warfare alone. And that's going to offset Boom's progression. They need to start making plays, but they are a lot more cautious. Slight lead on their end. You have seen Drew start to pull away, and the Dreamer Cell needs to find some space now.
Dreamer Soul's just got to farm, but he's fallen behind Drew. I mean, it's definitely really bad news when you're behind the Spectre. Then again, it's an AM after all. It's not like you can't just split push the map when you're behind and just come back later on.
Yeah. Relatively easy to get that bounce back. They have invaded the triangle. Very fortunate to miss these mine stacks. And Kescute just gonna check out. That is such a scary stack. I wouldn't want to be there.
Bot lane. Bit of a chase here onto Hung. Kono. Make himself known. FBZ. Let's plant the Reaper Scythe yet. Hung is just trying to make a run for it, but now FBZ could throw it out if he wants. Just needs a bit of vision. They won't even need it anyway. They got him with the chains of the Flame Guard. Kodo getting another kill for his team.
Yeah, it's again just building up in this Ember Spirit. We talk about the importance of Mikado getting that early start. He is finding his pace, keeping up with the farm of Dreamer Cell, slightly behind Drew, again just about 800-ish behind that Speckle though.
Dreamer Cell is going to be chased down. He has Blink in 1 second. Looks like he'll be fine. Kescute may not be so fine, but no, he'll get a nice impale off. He'll be alright. Maybe not. Chokam has a Blink Dagger up now on the Tiny, apparently. They do get the kill.
It's a torch for 4. They are trying to go mid, but this is the same mistake they made last time, Mike.
It is. One mine's already around there. Try and go on to the Batrider, and they do. They get hung. They have sentries this time, John. So they will be deleted, but the toss back into another stack of mines, into the Aether Remnant. FBZ, he's going to be alright. They don't blow them up. Jokam's the one to actually go down here. The mines will get taken out by our Necrophos.
And not blowing them up, although.
Makoto helping Hyde set up for an arrow here, and that baby barely going to survive for now. In fact, he gets away with about 30 HP. FBZ going to be chased down by Drew. Drew just trying to go for the easy kill. Blast off, not going to land on anyone. And FBZ somehow still alive, but eventually will go down to the Spectre. Boom Esports just unable to help him out. So back down to the bot lane where Dreamer Cell was getting Avalanche tossed. He's just going to be able to blink out and get back to farming the jungle. He is slowly but surely catching up to the Spectre now, and should eventually overtake the Spectre in terms of farm.
It's just a matter of time for Dreamer Cell. I mean, you're keeping up quite good here for Drew. He's maximizing his camp clearing potential with his Spectral Dagger. Of course, popping that Blade Milan to help speed it up. 496 right now. Still need to play a slight stall game. They're not quite done with that BB's build up on the Yags. Gonna need that up and running to really get this Void Spirit in a good spot. You're also looking at the blink for Hung. I mean, you've got this on Jokam, which is great, but you need to follow up from your bat. Does have the BKB, though. Gives Hung a little bit more presence in the front, ignoring a lot of that control that the Nyx Assassin has been bringing out. So Hung has more options now to play with. Looks like 496 will have to consider pushing that mid-tier 1 soon, as that's the big key that allows Boom to just kind of play like this. They've got control of their jungle because of it. Their triangle is safe. There's no way you can invade here as 496, and that just limits their options. But the same thing goes because of Bombi. He's keeping good control on these ramp sites. It's hard for Boom to play in the triangle area. You're just kind of looking down bot.
And that baby gonna go down. Still got the Aghanim Scepter up.
It's going to be a objective take for Boom if they're not ready to defend here 496. They didn't mind this area, so it's just going to go. Dream yourself finds a tier 2. First tier 2 of the game. Opens up the outpost for taking as well. And 496 now, I'd say 3k deficit's not too bad, but the issue is Bombi feels like he hasn't achieved much besides pissing off Boom. Right, like he hasn't mined up this jungle. The triangle's not been a spot that Boom has played with. The mines he laid at the mid-tier 1 hasn't really paid off. So we need to see what else is up in the game plan here for Bombi, as his impact is not as big. I mean, he's mined up this ramp now, but we haven't seen Boom really play in this area here on the top jungle in a while.
I like the way you describe that, John. He hasn't done anything but pissed anyone off. It's just, that's what every Techies player does, John. They just piss everyone off. They're not really doing anything. They just exist. So they jump in now. Big team fight to break out. They do get Kescue on the Nyx Assassin. Horn is going to come in. Drew sees an opportunity to go into FBZ. He'll get the Yules off in time, but he's not going to be able to survive the damage output by the side of Boom Esports. Well, it's tough for both teams. They've got these really kind of bad team fighting lineups. These team fights are pretty darn awkward between the two, but well, this time 496 got on top. Problem is bot lane is being forced in by Dreamer Soul's anti-mate. So he does force rotation back to defend. That may open up another team fight here. Could favor Boom Esports this time.
Hyde doesn't want to walk up there.
Well, naturally, they know that there's mines here somewhere.
Techies games. So this entire part of the map is now unplayable for Boom. They're going to focus on their triangle where there is a ward. So forward thinking from 496 to get that done. 3k lead still up for Boom. Biggest issue for them is... Oh, that's an issue. There you go. If Kescue dies...
Jokam, Avalanche is quite nice. That BB is not going to survive anyway. Meanwhile, Makoto going to chase down Jokam and be able to take him out. Makoto starting to dish out a lot of damage. As you know, John, I can't keep up with the mine kills or the bomb kills. If you're gonna put a hero like Techies into the game, you know, you've got to integrate it into the UI so people can tell what the hell's going on. Like you can't just put a hero like this into the game and then just not allow me to tell exactly where all the mines are.
You expect them to put that work in, Mike? You're funny. Here, have an announcement for the next 3 months and see if it gets figured out, Mike.
Alright. Let's find out the Techies. Arrow gonna connect, Dreamer Soul gonna jump in, and that'll be a nice, easy Techies kill. Although Lasso is gonna be up from Hung. Chains are out. Hyde gonna make the lead bat as Dreamer Soul jumps back in after Hung. Kodo just get himself out of there, and it looks like they've had enough. He just wanted the Techies dead.
Yeah, that's a sane objective for any team, Mike. I think just looking for the techies dead gives you a lot of opportunities, and Drew is hanging around.
Gets chained up. Arrow to fly in. That's a really great kill out from Boom. Very, very important one to get, and now Dreamer's Soul just gives the call for the Roshan attack.
It's a perfect time for it. 496 don't quite have the vision out here. They should know what's happening, though. They're going to need to contest somehow, but they don't have Lasso. They do have Haunt, but they don't want to buy back. That should be the first Rosh going the way of Boom.
Should be. That BB, looks like he's thinking about going for a steal attempt. Does try to get some vision there with the 8th Remnant, but now the control is coming in here from Makoto as he does get chained up, and Dreamer's Soul does jump in, drains the mana, and takes him out. In fact, they want to go after Joe Cam as well. He'll toss away Makoto, but the arrow's connected, and Dreamer's Soul, again, just getting rid of the mana of Hyde. That Roshan is at a very low HP now, so they can just go and finish it off. No big deal.
Yep, have to be careful of that ramp, but again, they should know what's happening there with the build-up, so gonna have that first Aegis here, Boom. They're just keeping it protected. They are aware though.
Hunk jumps in, but Makoto, he does end up picking up the Aegis. Lasso was there, but Makoto's gonna survive through it and just walk his way out. In fact, he's gonna turn back around now onto the Spectre, the Reaper's side. They too managed to pick him off. Drew just dying as soon as he respawns.
Gonna be a rough time for him. 90 seconds with no Spectre, no Haunt now. I believe we're seeing a Heart ferried out here for a Necrophos, so FBZ. Heart Russian. He just... he fell for it. What?
Yeah, he's just had enough, John. He needs to just get through the mines. They do end up killing off Bombies. That's one way to do it. That BB gonna try and chase him down, but Makoto is still alive. Gets the chains off, and now Dreamer's Soul is in to drain the mana of that BB. Does eventually get him to 0 so he can just take him out. Now they even find another. Not sure what the idea was there from Joe Cam, but he does get picked off.
Yeah, it's not quite the events you want for 496. I mean, they did take care of the Aegis. I guess that's a plus, but they lost 4 heroes when they didn't need to, so it's a wash in the end, Mike.
It's what you get for picking techies, John. You know, there's like 110 other heroes you could have chose from. You chose this one. That's what you get.
Yep. It's gonna be rough. But look at this, Bombi, new spot. A whole bunch of mines here, so it's protecting the tier 2 mid. Let's see if anyone falls for that one as the lead widens here. Boom, 12k ahead. We are seeing our AM Dreamwhistle really start to fall ahead. Basher up, Abyssal next. And compare that to Drew, who has been stuck on Manta Diffusal, what's that? Blade Mail. Ooh, my brain's getting fried. Blade Mail still rushing into the Basher himself. So it's almost the same build-up for both heroes, but a lot slower in the Spectre. And that's just set to go on and on because of the AM effect. It just clears out camps so much faster and safer.
There's that Abyssal Blade up now on Dreamer's Soul's mid lane. Avalanche is going to be there, but Kescute taking care of that tech. His Dreamer's Soul just jumps in, gets rid of Bombi. Reaper's Scythe is there on a Hung, but it's really all just about Dreamer's Soul right now. He's on a double kill. Hung can't really fight back on the Batrider, and it looks like Boom Esports are well and truly in control now of this game.
Did they just call it? They called it. Bombi Chatfield called it.
Perfect.
That was honestly a bit anticlimactic, but yeah, you said it, Mike. Techies.
Did you actually want to sit here for 2 hours watching a Techies game? I mean,
nope.
I know some of the viewers were excited about Techies, but oh great, now the coordinator's down. Okay, we're back. Never mind.
Yeah.
I know people were excited about all the techies, and Bombi's actually a very good techies, John. He's known for his techies, but
Yep.
John, I haven't slept. I can't do a 2-hour game of techies. It's fun for the first 30 minutes, but then you get sick of it.
Of course. Now the question is, Mike, game number 2 here, 496. They've pulled the techies out. Is it Boom's time to pull the Medusa out?
No, it is not. Oh, Medusa?
Yeah, the Medusa. They do play it pretty fast, you know.
I have always said with Boom Esports, they're the one team that play a fast Medusa. Like they don't play the let's drag the game out for 5 hours and just eventually win the game. They actually play it pretty darn quick. Whatever Boom want, they can have, John. It's up to them. For now, it's MLP Dota and johnxfire, and we'll see you again in about 10 minutes for our last game of the night. See you then.